hadn't signed anything, by the way, at this point. As we're just going along, like, you know, if someone falls over, they're getting run over by this plane. And I was like, I hope he's got good lawyers. I feel like everyone spoke to MrBeast when he came over to film his jet video and just got so motivated by the way that he does things. Like when we were filming that jet video, he had like 20, maybe not 20, he had at least 10 editors sat there just going through the footage, checking that no one had their hands off on like in a kind of van at the time. And including all the other people, he's probably got like 40 people working there on the shoot and stuff.
What, that all came over with him?
Yeah. The crew was it was like a movie set. It was humongous, honestly. And so seeing that and then speaking to him and him like basically talking about how he's like lived with a guy for the last 2 years to train him up to be like a CEO of his company and just, I hope he said this out there, and basically like be him and make someone who just understands YouTube and understands all the things that he doesn't need to be doing but can delegate to someone else. It's just really smart. And so like I after speaking to him, I was like, I just need to get my life together and like find editors, find these people that are doing all these shitty little jobs that I don't need to be doing, and it just helps so much business wise, because I only upload a video like once a month because I literally cannot upload any more than that and have a life. And yeah, it's just ChrisMD once a week. MrBeast does much more than that.
All I've taken from that is that MrBeast essentially takes around his own personal VAR with him. That is mental.
Honestly, so accurate. That is literally what they were doing. They were in a VAR van and just scrubbing back and going through the GoPro.
Mike Dean sat in there.
Yeah.
I'd love that. That's a world I want to be involved in.
Jesus, that would be great, wouldn't it? Mike Dean.
You were part of MrBeast's most recent video at the time of recording anyway. For anyone who hasn't seen it, tell us about this concept that MrBeast got you involved in.
So it was after the Cyber match, and I actually had a tweet that went really viral, because basically he messaged me saying, got a video to win something on Sunday, do you want to be in it? No, after the soccer match, do you want to be in it? And I didn't reply, I just replied with an asterisk and then wrote football, and he just blocked me. And so I tweeted that with like the caption, always stand up for what you believe in, and it did like 300k likes or something.
I remember seeing that.
And obviously like I had spoken to him in DMs and stuff before, and so I knew there was like 80% of me that was like, he's joking right? I'm sure he's joking. And he left me blocked for about 3 hours and then unblocked me and then messaged back to me your details and stuff. So, he had me sweating. But yeah, then he had, I think, 11 of us YouTubers. He'd bought a private jet, hired out Southend Airport, because you can just do that, apparently.
The whole airport?
Yeah, the whole airport. He had the whole airport just hired.
So no planes were
No.
Is it like a private airport?
No.
What's a proper airport?
I think so. I'm pretty sure he just hired out.
Cancelled all flights for the day.
I'm fairly certain. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But it was at least like a big portion of Southend Airport. And then
these are YouTubers.
Honestly, he's not. He's a fucking one of the biggest celebrities in the world. It's mental.
Yeah.
Seeing all this, that's what I mean. It just opened everyone's eyes to the scale of this. So he's got this private jet, and we turn up at the airport. And then we've all told to put our left hands or right hands on it, and basically then the challenge starts, and you can't take your right hand off at all. So it's totally legit. And he has, I don't know, like 30 different cameras on at all times, and they're taking the memory cards out as they go, going back and getting the VAR team and Mike Dean to go through and check that no one's taken their fingers off. So that's how they know. So basically one of the team relays it to like his director or whatever. I think he had 3 directors that were there on the day, and then they obviously come to him and say, here's the footage, this is where someone took their hand off, and then he goes to them and says, you've taken your hand off.
So
you get the reaction.
You didn't know what you were doing before you rocked up then?
I did know it was something to do with a private jet, but I didn't really know what was going on. And basically, so beforehand, he wanted to do it in that he gives it, like, whoever wins it chooses a fan to give it away to, and he was going to invite a bunch of people down, and then we have to basically choose out of all these people where who gets the private jet. But then it got rescheduled because like, the shoot got cancelled and they couldn't get a bunch of people down, and so it turned into him going, okay, you just have to give this to someone who basically isn't well off, and you know, someone that it's going to change their life type thing. And so everyone had to sort of come up with someone that they would essentially give it to.
Right.
And so that was what the concept was. It was originally going to be giving it out to other people, because there was a part of me that's like, oh, you know, this whole video, and I'm sure he was, like, once it went to giving YouTubers a private jet and stuff. But luckily it went to Harry's brother in the end, so thank God he's got it. But anyway, so yeah, I went in about 12 o'clock. It started about 12 o'clock, and then he starts taxiing the plane like along the runway and stuff, and we're walking along. Hadn't signed anything, by the way, at this point, as we're just going along. Like, you know, if someone falls over, they're getting run over by this plane. And I was like, I hope he's got good lawyers, which I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
But I think Vic went out first, just took his hand off inside like 30 minutes, just because you forget about things, and like, because you're filming a video, so you're trying to be funny, you're trying to be entertaining as well, and so your natural just muscle memory comes in, and you just start sort of moving about.
That's kind of how you went out, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And it was fucking, it's horrendous.
How long had you been in by this up until this point?
I think it was about 10 hours, so not too bad.
When you turned up, did you know, like, he obviously told you to come to this place.
Yeah.
Did he say how long you'd be needed for?
No.
Like, if you had other plans?
He had pretty much told me the concept. So I was like, I think this is going to be on for a while, but I thought it would be over in like a few hours type thing. And then... yeah, Speed went out by chunks going for a high five.
Yeah, he just, yeah.
So good.
I love it though, because when you took your hand off, like the other guys that took their hands off, like, there was like a VAR decision on a lot of them, but you were just sat with MrBeast at that point, weren't you?
It's horrendous, yeah. And my hand had been off for like a good 10 seconds. So like we had it, he made us move inside the plane, and then you had to keep your hand on the basically like the exterior of the plane at all times. And I just started chatting to him and started gesturing with my hands and this, and then he just goes, everyone was there. The worst thing was, he just said to us that we're going on a 3-hour flight. So we were in the air at the time, and he was like, okay, we're going, he said we're going on a 3-hour flight, and he said, I've got all these places booked that we're going to fly to in the next like 24 hours, because he said, I imagine this will keep going for quite a while, and I've got these plans, like we might not necessarily go there, but I've got these plans for where we're going to go. And I think he had a whole bunch, so he had like 20 people waiting at Leeds Airport, 20 people waiting at Guernsey Airport, 20 people at, obviously Southend as well, and then somewhere else, I think there was somewhere in Europe that he was going, maybe like Switzerland or somewhere like that. So he had crew, all these places, like just in case the plane landed there, and like obviously had done all the communication with getting the preparation for landing there and everything with air traffic control, and then it didn't get to that stage. But basically, so we thought we were going to Iceland because we were trying to work out where's 3 hours. We knew we were going like northwest. And so I went out about 5 minutes after we took off. So I was like, not only am I now going to be stuck, have I now gone out of this challenge, I'm now going to be stuck on this plane. They might go there, and then they might go to Iceland. They might go to like France. They might go. So I was like, this is like my 24 hours. And if I'd gone out 10 minutes ago, I could have just gone straight home. But luckily, half an hour later, we land back at Southend Airport. He was like, no, I was just messing with you.
And then you could just go home.
I was like, good one, Jimmy. So,
how do you go into the toilet and stuff like that?
So we went to the loo when we were outside the plane generally, and he brought like a tent to us, and then a bucket, and you just have to have your hand on it, and everyone hears you weeing.
Did anyone have a poo?
No one did poo themselves, unfortunately.
That would have been good.
It would have been good, yeah. If he kept it going a bit longer. But it would have been interesting to see how someone would have dealt with taking a poo.
And it was worth $2.5 million or something.
Yeah, legitimately.
And what was your plans? How'd you won it?
I would have given it to my cousin because he's very tough on money at the moment.
Right.
He's on YouTube full time, but the monetization sign isn't being too kind to him, I think, at times. And he literally hasn't been on holiday for like 3 years or something because he hasn't had the money. And I was like, it'd just be such a lovely story to give to him.
Yeah.
And have this thingy. But not to be.
If you had to keep it, would you have just literally kept a private jet, or would you have sold it?
No, I'd have sold it, because I think they cost like $1 million to run every year.
Do they?
Yeah, because it depends where you go, but in terms of like the paying for all the rights to sort of park it somewhere, and then like getting the flights and the fuel and everything. So
it's fascinating stuff, seeing about how it all works and stuff.
It's so cool just being there. And also the fact that we were at this video for I was there for 12 hours or whatever, and it's cut down into like 2 minutes. And so in my eyes, there's so much funny stuff that's happened. And then when you actually see it, it's like, I've only got about 30 seconds screen time in the video or something.
I wonder what they base that on. Like
they're really punchy, aren't they?
It's MrBeast. It's Jimmy goes through and he's like, if something's not entertaining or it's moving through the video, just cut it, because like he's so all about, is the algorithm going to like this? If anything's controversial at all, just gets cut. So like he went through and asked people like, why do you think you're going to be good at this challenge? And I said something like, my right hand is very used to repetitive strain injury, so I think I'm going to be fine on this. And then I was instantly like, well, that's not making it in the video. Straight out, because it's like, he's the biggest YouTuber in the world, so he gets paid these probably inflated advertising rates. I'm sure all these big companies, compete to get the advertising space, and so he knows that he gets so much more money if he doesn't make an joke or something.
I'm fucked.
Yeah, we should try that for the podcast.
I'm still doing okay, so